Hey there, fellow travelers. Mark here with Wolters World, and today we're here in Paris Charles de Gaulle Airport. We just got out of the business lounge, the Air France lounge, which is really cool, and we do travel a lot, so we actually get some free upgrades and some free perks into getting into the lounges sometimes, but we don't always get those perks. And the thing is, there's times we actually pay to go into the lounge because it's worth doing. And the thing is, we're not buying business class tickets, so we don't get the automatic, welcome to the business lounge kind of stuff. I know there's times it's really important to actually get the business lounge, and so what I thought we'd do is actually give you 5 reasons why it's worth for you to actually go and pay for the lounge if you don't get one with an upgrade or something like that. Because the thing is, the lounge is fantastic because you get free food, free drinks, a dedicated staff to help you out, which is awesome, and that's really, really nice. It also gets you out of the hustle and bustle of the airport. But the thing is, it might cost you $50, $60, $70, $80. Who knows how much it costs you to actually get in. So we don't always use the lounge. When we get a free upgrade, we do it. I'm not going to lie to you about that. Because anytime you get a free ticket to the lounge, take it, okay? But the thing is, sometimes I know there's times it's really worth paying the money just in case. And so I'm going to go through is my 5 reasons why I would pay, and I think there's a good reason why you should pay for a business lounge. Now, the first one is whenever you have a long layover, like over 3 hours layovers, that's going to be a time that it's going to be really kind of a good thing to actually use the business lounge, because one, think about it. If you're going to go to a restaurant here at an airport, right? $20 for your meal. Probably you get a couple drinks. There's another $15 there. That's 35 plus tip. You're like 45 bucks right there. Well, for 50, you can get in the lounge. You get the food for free and have all this space, and no one is shooing you out of the restaurant because no one shoos you out of the lounge, which is really nice. So it actually isn't, when you think about the money side of it, it actually kind of evens itself out, especially if you're gonna have a few drinks. So you can think of it that way. And for us, it really is. It comes to any time we have over 3 hours of a layover. That's when we start to kind of consider it. Now the thing is, some airports you don't really need to do it because there's plenty of room to play. Like in Copenhagen, I like that airport. In Schiphol, you don't really need to use it all the time because there's enough stuff to do. But sometimes you really do need it. And kind of going along with that long layover is sometimes when your plane gets delayed. I know my parents are flying out of Amsterdam a couple weeks ago, and of course my dad wanted to be there at least 3 hours early, so I got him there 3.5 hours early for his flight. And when they checked in, they said, hey, your flight's delayed for an hour. So that meant they had 4.5 hours in Amsterdam. And so I told them, like, look, this would be one of those times it's worth it to get the lounge. Go to the lounge and pay for the time just for the day there, okay? Get a day pass there. And they did, and they were very happy for it. My mom was very happy that I suggested that because it gives you this kind of free time, this free space, and space to move around, to relax. Because sometimes, like I said, there's the food and drinks. Sometimes they have workspaces. They might have showers and stuff like that for you to freshen up, which is really nice. Now, the second time that I really recommend you actually getting the business lounge is anytime you're going to be flying and there could be any weather delays. I know we've been stuck in Chicago a number of times. Like, we've slept there. And there was one time we actually were there for 14 hours. It was not a fun day. But when our first plane got delayed pushed back for 2 hours, we realized, okay, we might want to go to the lounge because it'll be like 3 hours till our flight. We got in there and they kept pushing it back and pushing it back and pushing it back. And we ended up having kind of like a daycare there with all the people bringing their kids and stuff like that, as everyone was going up to the dedicated service staff to actually, rebook their tickets and stuff like that. So that's kind of a nice thing. And the thing is what you have to realize is those lounges can only hold so many people. So if it caps out, it doesn't matter. Like, they're not going to let anybody else in. So if you know there could be issues, maybe go ahead, spend the money and get in there. So you have that dedicated staff, you've got some free food and drinks to deal with those things, and that can help. What I will say is getting in line and talking to the staff, they can do the same thing as a phone call to like your Delta agent or United agent. So maybe do the phone call while you're enjoying some Jack Daniels or a little bit of wine. That might make things a little bit easier on those bad weather trips. Now, the third time that I would recommend actually paying for the lounge is if you're just wiped out. When you've got one of those just super long flights, so you had to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to drive the airport for that 6 o'clock flight, and then you got a 4-hour layover, and you're just wiped out. That would be a good time to get the lounge because it's quiet, you can sleep, you can relax, you can get some food, maybe freshen up. If you're taking that flight, the US to Europe to Asia kind of flight, that can be a really helpful thing to do that, to really like recharge your batteries. But also not just if you're wiped out, maybe you're sick, or maybe like I've seen a lot of travelers will sprain their ankles or break their ankles when they travel, and you need that little bit extra help. Go into the lounge, they can get the golf cart to pick you up and stuff like that, to take you to your gate. Really makes a big difference. Now, my fourth reason to do it is if you're at a really congested airport, whether it's a big airport or a small airport, just to get away from the crowd, especially if you're claustrophobic or don't like big groups, it does make it easier to get away from everything if you do that. So that could be something to think about for you. And then the fifth reason why I think it's a good idea to pay for the lounge is if you actually have to get some work done. Look, a lot of lounges will actually have dedicated spaces for people to work, okay? They might have desks for you, they might have tables, but also they tend to have free Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi in the lounges tend to be a bit better than the free Wi-Fi you get in the airports, and so it's something to think about. And the thing is, you don't always need to stay at a lounge. I mean, they're really great if you get them. That's why I said if you ever get the free ones, always go. But you don't always need it. And these are the reasons why we don't always go to the lounge, but sometimes we do because of these. So I hope it helps you know a little bit more about when it could be a good idea for you to go in the lounge when you fly. If you want to learn more, check us out on our website at woltersworld.com. And I'll say bye from Paris.